Garden tour, August 18th, 2025. So, it's the middle of August. It's been pretty dry this summer. As you can see here, the rye has been uncovered and chopped. I bagged up a bunch of it the other day. Didn't have time to get to this pile here, but it's okay sitting there for the moment. There were some, this was also rye here where this black tarp is. There were some weeds in there. I just stuck this tarp here for now to try and knock some of those weeds down. You can see this purple coneflower, echinacea is, flowering. It's a little fried. It's been, like I said, it's been pretty dry. This is the bed here where I've been trying to grow lettuce. We've got really bad germination, unfortunately. So, looks like this week there's not going to be any lettuce. This row here was a really late seeding of corn with some other squash stuck in the middle really late, some scallions. Probably not going to do anything this year, but I just had some stuff I wanted to get it in the ground, so there we go. This here is a bed that I created. The extension of this 25 feet is another 25 feet here that I created last week. And it's also got some transplanted lettuce, corn, which is way late, probably not going to do anything, but I figured stick it in the ground, we'll see what happens. I also seeded some green beans down either side. You can see a lot of those have popped up now. I also stuck in some kale and some collards and stuff in between the corn plants. You can also see here, it looks like I may have knocked down my rye a little late. So what I think has happened here is I've produced some rye seed. Because you can see here, these little, I believe that is rye seed that was created by my cover crop and then fell on the ground when I knocked the seed down, or the plants down. You're trying to knock it down before that seed becomes viable. Looks like I was a little late. I thought that might be an issue, but it's all right. I'll come through here with one weeding with a stirrup hoe or something and just knock these down before they get established. But then we've got over here, this is actually, well, we've got corn here that I think is probably the same age as these transplants over here. It's just that I transplanted them over a month earlier. So based on their age, you can see the corn behind it here is stuff that I direct seeded, but actually did so later than this stuff was seeded in seedling trays. So these plants are actually older by age. That's why at only, 2 feet tall, they're already producing cobs. So it is what it is. Hopefully I'll get something out of this. I've already got raccoons sniffing around, I believe, because I got an eaten tomato down there. So, but if you don't get it in the ground, you certainly don't get anything. So we're getting some ears already, so I like that. Like I said, this stuff is a little bit younger, so it's not at that stage yet. Hopefully it will be soon. What else have we got? We've got beets that I sowed down the side of this bed here that are, I think there's some in there that'll be harvested this week. We've got my yellow zucchini, which looks like a lot of these plants got knocked down by various bugs, probably vine borer. I've seen a few adults around. I've killed a few, I've missed a few, so probably missed more than a few. We've also got some signs of some hornworm damage on the tomatoes. We'll see that when we get over there. Look at that, a giant, well, that's not too giant. That's a decent zucchini. We'll pull that this week. Some of these zucchini and summer squash plants are doing okay. You can see a summer squash there. Oh, there's some big summer squash over there. That's nice to see. What else have we got here? We've got some spaghetti squash that's, maturing. Well, maybe not that one. But I'll take what I can get. What have we got here? There's some more corn with, I think maybe I stuck cucumbers in here. I really can't remember. I know we've got some pie pumpkins here. We've got a wild amaranth that grew here. It's a beautiful plant. That's actually a volunteer. I had them in this area last year and they've reseeded themselves, so I'll take that. Got some cukes here in between some peppers. Looks like, oh yeah, look at that. Got some shishitos on these tiny little pepper plants. Wonderful. I'll take those that week. Hopefully that moves those plants along. You can see here, I think these were a larger pepper plant, so probably a bell pepper of some sort. But something has nibbled the top off of them, so, you know, everybody's eating good in the neighborhood, including the local wildlife. You can see plenty of cherry tomatoes. It's cherry tomato season, full blown, so that's always good. It's also my larger slicer varieties are coming right along. I've got my bush tomatoes here, which are ripening. We've got some hornworm damage in amongst these. You can see here, this is probably hornworm damage here. All this. If I get a chance, maybe I'll look for one. Oh, I see a big one right on the other side there. Let's go say hi to this guy. There is, where'd I see him? There he is. Holy smokes. You've been eating good, buddy. Well, today's the last day, unfortunately. But, anyways, I don't know. I guess I'll have to come back for him. I don't really have the tools or equipment on me. So, he gets a reprieve. Hopefully he's still findable when I come back after this video. Here's my second planting of carrots. These are serving me pretty well right now. Here is a giant yellow zucchini, which clearly I probably should have taken last week. But we did finally get some rain over the last day or two. So everything's really taken off. You can see here, looks like this got some sun damage probably. These jalapenos that I got off the clearance shelf at Home Depot. You know, there's jalapenos on there. Some of them are, I mean, there was jalapenos on them when I bought them off the shelf, so, you know, it's jalapenos. I didn't think I was going to have any, but I found some, so I'll take it. This bed here is something that I planted last week. I had some leftover artichokes from the farm I work at, so I stuck those down the middle, mixed in with the last of my shishito peppers and some scallions. Yeah, it looks like that's what we've got here. I believe you can see two like lines down either side. I think I stuck in, oh, I'm trying to remember. Maybe beets on one side of the bed and carrots on the other side of the bed. I think that's what I'm remembering I did. Here we've got my latest planting of radishes and some grass, which I'd love to knock down sometime soon. We've also got some bell peppers here. Ooh, look at that, bell pepper. Ooh, nice. Got some green peppers we're gonna have to take. Holy crap. That's the best green pepper production I've ever had, so that's nice to see. Got some shishitos down here. Yeah, look at these green peppers. Look at this. I wasn't expecting to see these. I'll take them. Thank you very much. You can see some more hornworm damage here. So I saw some last week. I just didn't have a chance to lock horns with them. I don't know if I'll have time this week either. It's been a crazy summer. Lots going on. So, you know, some things have had to give, unfortunately. Sometimes it's the plants. Luckily, you know, nature is pretty resilient. These plants just want to grow. I'll try to give them the best I've got, you know. Oh yeah, I see a big hornworm right there. Yep, something's been eating my tomatoes. Not just bugs though. See, look at this guy. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. This sucker right there. Look at him. He's eating while we're videoing. Isn't that rude? What a rude caterpillar. That's all right. That's all right. His day is coming. Anyways, then we've also got what I believe is a volunteer. Maybe I seeded in a tray and it didn't germinate quick enough and I got impatient and seeded something else in there, like these tomatoes. But we've got these husk cherries here, a few ripe ones. Taste a little bit like a cross between a tomato and a pineapple. So that's why I always grow some of these. Here we've got, that's holy basil there. Some kale under these tomatoes. You know, I try to interplant as much as possible. Anyways, got some okra here. It's finally starting to size up a little bit. Got the okra in late. Got red onions with, you know, the last of a tray of celery seedlings that I stuck down the middle. It's coming along. I have been harvesting celery out of both that bed and this bed, as well as leeks, over the last few weeks. Taking some leeks last few weeks. And this cucumber is really sizing up here. Oh yeah, got some cukes in there. Oh yeah, cukes are getting big. That's nice to see. Anyways, this is what was supposed to be my third planting of carrots, because I can see some carrots in there, but it's not what I like to see as far as, there's hardly anything. But the purslane is very happy here, and it's flowering, so that's bad if we don't want, you know, a similar thing next year. So I gotta knock this out soon. Maybe today, if not today, within the next few days. I can see the purslane is, let's get a good view of it. There's little yellow flowers. That means it's making seed, which we don't want. This was my original carrot and beet bed. It's just sitting here, letting the grass grow. I'm hoping sometime in the next week or two, I'm going to be able to harvest everything that's left in these 4 beds out of here. But I'm still getting cabbage, kale, chard out of these beds. So until I'm done with that, I'm going to leave them be. But as soon as I can get most everything harvested out of here, I'm going to cover this with that tarp over there. That tarp is sitting where my garlic was, just, you know, trying to knock down a few weeds that were in there, holding it, you know, kind of in stasis for me. Probably about the same time I move the tarp over here, what I will do here is I will plant a rye cover crop for next year, because I'm going to cover crop this end of the garden this year, and the garlic will go back to that end of the garden for next year. So I'd give you a view of here. You know, we still got kale coming out of here. We got green cabbage. We got purple or red cabbage. Got more kale over there. The one thing that's going to slow down shutting down these beds is I planted my second planting of green beans here. But they're just about to start to flower, you can see. So they'll be here and gone, hopefully. You know, the timing will work out right. I've also got some fairly healthy chard plants here in the middle. This was what originally was my Napa cabbage bed. Oh, that Napa cabbage I had one straggler, but looks like it bolted. It's gonna go in the compost pile. Oh, we've got sunflowers. They're not in full bloom yet, but there's bloom. I mean, we have some bloom going on. So, it's flower season, certainly. We've got the cherry tomatoes that volunteer here every year. Something seeded those for me, so I'll take it. We've got zinnias. You know, you can see some hornworm damage over here too. So there's a hornworm in there somewhere. I don't see him at the moment, but hopefully one of the many birds that likes to hang out in my garden is helping. Got a lot of goldfinches, sparrows. probably crows eating the vegetables. But anywho, look at the zinnias. They're in full glory. You know, my germination here was a little bit spotty this year, so there's not as thick as they are, or as I would like. But, you know, zinnia is a zinnia. They're beautiful. You got this lighter yellow sunflower here. It's blooming. Bees are loving it. You got a dark sunflower over here. That's a pretty neat color for a sunflower right there. So, you know, it's garden season. Everything's still doing good. It's actually a little cooler today. And like I said, we got some rain yesterday and the day before. So it almost feels like fall's moving in. I guess it probably is. Because it is August 18th, you know. There's still plenty of time to grow stuff though. So I guess that's about the gist of it.